Hi, I'm Tony Ricketts. I'm the general manager here at D-Patrick Motoplex, German Cars. And you might see me walking around the dealership, but what you might not know is how I got here. I've worked at D-Patrick for 37 years now, and I guess one of the reasons I'm here is that I've always had a great love for cars, and working in the car business just seemed like a natural thing to me. The more I got into cars, the more I appreciated the engineering and technology in the German cars, and so it was just a natural fit for me. Cars have always been a big part of my family's history. I guess it all started for me with my grandfather. He collected all kinds of cars. What he was really known for was collecting Edsels. Those are cars that Ford built back in the late 50s, but he had all sorts of cars. He had a Fiat we worked on one time. He had retractable hardtop Fords, but I remember one car in particular was a 1959 Mercedes-Benz that he and I restored together. When I was gonna look for my first car, I found a Porsche 356, and I wanted that car very badly, but my dad wouldn't let me buy it. And so I ended up with an Audi as my first car. And my love for German cars just took off from there. So when I got the opportunity to come to D-Patrick, I was so excited because I thought it would be cool to work on Porsches. But as it worked out, I didn't get to sell Porsches at first. I sold Hondas, which may have been the best thing for me in the long run anyway. I got to know some of the people at the dealership, and one guy in particular was a guy named Ron Wise. We kind of became friends, and he started training me to be an F&I manager. So when the dealership needed an F&I manager because we were growing, I was already trained. So it was an easy fit. And I started being an F&I manager at our Ford dealership. And I did that for several years. And then the ultimate kind of happened, and I became a sales manager for the German cars. And this would have been back in the early 90s. And I had a really great time doing that, and I loved it. But then some things happened in the local car business, and they wanted me to go back down to our Ford store. And so I was the sales manager and then general sales manager there for 10 years. But they needed somebody back at the Motoplex where the German cars were, and I came back. So about 20 years ago, I came back. I was a sales manager, general sales manager, and ultimately now I've become the general manager of that dealership. You know, as I've grown, my favorite part about working is just pretty much the car business, and I love the people. I love working with the customers. I love working with the cars, and I like working with the manufacturers, and it just makes that a lot of fun. But the best part for me has been doing that right here in Evansville with a dealership that is still family owned, locally owned, and I just feel, you know, that it's the best for community, and I'm really proud of what we do here. But working in a family-owned business, you can actually be a part of it. The people that make the decisions, that, you know, own the company, they're accessible. And I like that part of it. You're getting it from the person that counts. And I like working for a family-owned business. So that's my story and the journey that brought me to D-Patrick. But that is not the most important story. The most important story is the one for you when you come in and purchase your new car from D-Patrick.